So the Entertainah's been talking to a lot of Knicks fans around the tri-state area the past couple of months. And one of the hottest topics going around in the Knicks world is tanking. Should the Knicks tank? Well, let's find out. Welcome back, all my YouTube subscribers, Twitter followers, all the big Knicks fans out there. Today, the Entertainah is going to talk about one of the hottest topics going on in the NBA, tanking. So before the Entertainah gives you his unbiased opinion on this topic of what the Knicks should do, let's get into some of the pros and cons. The pros are pretty obvious. I think everybody gets the point. You try to lose as many games as possible so you get your ping pong balls and you try to get that next superstar. And a lot of Knicks fans think that tanking is the way to go. They think if the Knicks could lose as many games as possible, they get as many ping pong balls as they possibly can, they might end up with the Barrett or the Reddish. The Entertainah gets it. If you can get your hands on the next LeBron James, of course it's beneficial to the team, but not everything always works out to be rainbows and butterflies. Even if you get one of these two pups, they might not end up being what they're supposed to be. And all these people want the Knicks to tank. They just think it's an automatic. They think if they get one of these top two picks that Reddish or Barrett's going to be this superstar, and they very well may be. But it's a coin flip. It's not a sure thing. I could go down the list. You got your Arlo Candies, your Sean Bradleys, your Kwame Browns, your Darko Milicic. I go on for days. Okay, so there's just as many busts as there are LeBron Jameses and Allen Iversons and whoever else you want to say was this great #1 overall pick. But I get the line of thinking from the Knicks fans. They think if they can get their hands on one more cute little puppy, one more top 2, 3, 4, 5 pick, that they can grow up and be this superstar, that the Knicks will be unbeatable. Of course, it seems to have worked out for the Sixers with the Embiid, the Simmons. They're finally on the right track, okay? But it's not all rainbows and butterflies for every team that attempts this, for all these tank people that think that this is the way to go. The Magic have had 5 top 6 picks in the last 6 years. That's got them real far. Half the players are off the team being superstars somewhere else. You got the Sacramento Kings who have had 11 top 10 picks in the last 10 years. Guess what? They've been in the lottery for 10 years straight and they're going nowhere fast. Then you got the Charlotte Hornets. Same story. 7 top 11 picks in the last 7 years. None of these teams have gone anywhere and they've continued to tank. So to act like this is the be-all end-all strategy, it's not. There's more to it than that. Which brings the Entertainah to the cons of tanking, and there's plenty of cons, believe me. The first con is it lowers team morale. You don't grow as a team, you don't build winning tendencies, and losing is contagious. If you don't think by tanking you're going to develop bad habits for these players, you got another thing coming. Look at all these players on these teams that I mentioned. Victor Oladipo leaves the Magic last year, now he's a superstar. Okay, he got out of that bad environment, he went over to the Pacers, who are a very well-run organization, and now he's one of the top 10, 15 players in the league. It's not like some of these players they draft don't have talent. They get put into these situations that's a bad environment and they don't grow as players. The Knicks just acquired plenty of these former top 10 picks from these franchises that they gave up on because they didn't know how to develop them. Mario Hezonja, Noah Vonleh. I go on for days. All the young pups that this team has, do I think it makes sense to tank? The answer is absolutely not. It makes no sense whatsoever. Not to mention the NBA's been trying to get rid of the tanking, so this year they changed the lottery odds. So if you get the worst record, you only have a 14% chance to get the #1 pick. So I'd rather try to win as many games as possible, contend for the playoffs, possibly make the playoffs, and grow, get some winning tendencies. Let these puppies start to grow. I need to see the French Bulldog chomping at the bit. Now, of course, the Entertainah realizes, especially with KP out, that this is a developmental year. So, if by starting Mitchell Robinson later in the season, if by giving Kevin Knox extra minutes, Ntilikina more time at the point, if that sacrifices a few wins for them to gain experience, I'm all for it. But that doesn't mean that we're tanking. We're not doing what the Sixers did when they had Jakar Sampson, a guy who barely belonged playing overseas in the starting lineup for 2 years. We're not doing that. The Knicks are trying to develop up-and-coming potential superstars. The Knicks are acquiring former top 10 picks, so if you think you're tanking, you got another thing coming. This team's trying to contend for the playoffs this year, and they should. So for all you Knicks fans out there begging for the ping-pong ball, open for the tanking, I got a message for you. The Knicks ain't tanking. They're trying to develop, they're trying to win, so take your ping-pong balls and shove it. I don't want to see a tank near the Garden. Send your tanks over to Brooklyn. Send them over to the Barclays Center, that joke of a franchise. The Knicks don't tank. We're going to try our best to develop this year, build winning tendencies, and contend for the playoffs. And last time I checked, the Knicks are trying to attract a couple of big free agents next year with the big cap space that they're going to have. Well, you know what? Last time I checked, not too many big free agents want to come to a franchise that's winning 15 or 20 games. So wake up. Tanking is not an option. This team needs to start winning, and they need to start playing competitive basketball. Now, do I expect this team to make the playoffs this year? Probably not, but you know what I do expect? I expect the team to be feisty. I expect the team to be scratching, trying to win, fighting for every inch. I expect the French Bulldog to be foaming at the mouth. So enough with the tank talk. It's getting the Entertainah aggravated. I'm usually a calm, cool, and collected individual. I want to see these players start to develop. I want to see Breen yelling bang so much that the people at Garden think that there's an active shooter. The Entertainah got a little worked up there, guys. I apologize. I just hate the word tank. I can't stand it. I hate that losing mentality. If you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give the Entertainah a little thumbs up. Let's talk a little Knicks basketball. Until next time, cheers.